15-year NFL veteran Super Bowl champion, host of the Quick Snap podcast. Let's welcome back Brian Hoyer. Brian, what a game. Bills, Chiefs. What's your big takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the biggest takeaway is how the Bills defense handled Patrick Mahomes. It really gave him fits. It kind of took me back to that the AFC Championship with the Bengals. Kind of they mush rush them, kind of keep them in the pocket. I think that's always been a successful game plan. Now you got to go out and execute it. And there was plenty of plays in that game. You're like, how did he just convert that, right? There was one, I'm sitting there watching with my son. They do a half roll to the left, then he rolls right. The backside tackle kicks out the end on the left side, and he throws it down the field. You're like, how do they even develop these type of plays? And of course, Patrick hits them. So they're always kind of lurking under the surface. But one thing you'd say about that Buffalo defense and Sean McDermott and Bobby Babich, they know how to bend but don't break. I would say that's the best way to put it. And it helps when you got the reigning MVP accounting for 3 touchdowns on the offense side of the ball. Cook rushing for over 100 yards again. The Bills, look, they had a 2-week kind of took a nap for a few weeks, but now they're back and got to be one of the top contenders in the AFC.
So what's the lesson for the Chiefs after this one? Because watching, I mean, we've seen it. It was giving Eagles win last year in the Super Bowl, too. It's this thing, not everybody can do it, right? I'm looking, but they hit him 14 times. They forced him into the lowest completion percentage of his career. They wanted to limit his scrambling. Pass rush got home. What's the lesson for the Chiefs in this? What do they need to do?
Well, I just heard you guys talking about it. They got to get some help in the running game, right? You can't put it all on Mahomes.
Let's
you
go!
Can't put it on. Look, Patrick is great, right? He's the best quarterback in the NFL over the last, 8 years. But any quarterback, you can't just put it on their shoulders the entire game, and then he's out there scrambling around, he's getting hit. It was a little bit different than the Eagles, too, because the Eagles in the Super Bowl, they were getting to him quick, right? The way that the Bills rushed, they wanted to make sure they kept him in the pocket, make sure that you were physical with the receivers, obviously add a few blitzes in, mix it up, and kind of keep them guessing. Like right here, you see, they're not really rushing. There he goes. Boom, you got him. And that type of mush rush, sometimes, especially with extra guys in coverage, can really affect Patrick. So you got to get some running game going, right? You can't just have him dropping back all the time, trying to pick apart a defense. Get some run game going. You mentioned maybe they trade for a Breece Hall, which secretly I'm holding out hope the Patriots maybe make a move for him. I know it's within the division. But look, give him some help back there, right? Don't make it so one-dimensional. Is
there a running back you like for the Chiefs outside of Breece Hall? Alvin Kamara, but I don't think he's going to. I think Alvin's just a happy little clam down in New Orleans.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants to get moved.
Breece would be an incredible addition to what they do. I think what Andy Reid and Mahomes could develop for a guy who's, look, he's a threat in the run game and the passing game, right? That's why I'm trying to pair him up here with Josh McDaniels and Drake May. So I don't want to speak it into existence too much because and I know that's within the division, so I'm sure the Jets would ask for a premium from the Patriots, but I think he could fit really well. And Ramondre Stevenson was out yesterday. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. Obviously, they have Travion Henderson, but I think, look, Breece Hall, I think he's only 24 years old. So I get it. He's going to be, it's kind of a rent-a-player potentially, but at 24 years old and what he's capable of, I think he would do wonders for that Chiefs offense.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but do the Chiefs win that game if they have Breece Hall yesterday?
Oh, man, it all starts with the mentality, right? I think that's the thing that you've seen over the years. Like, you always want to, and I know Pacheco got hurt last year, so I kind of think they shifted away from that, but they got to come in and say, we're committed to run the ball 20, 25, 30 times a game and take some of that off of Patrick, right? I think having that balance, any quarterback would tell you, when you have balance, it makes the defense play a little bit differently, right? And so instead of them kind of mush rushing you or getting that pressure, they have to respect the run game.
I love this mush. The fact that you have the balls to say mush rush, because I would mess it, mush rush.
I just heard that so many times.
You did it 3 times perfectly. I wouldn't dare say it. It's like saying slipped disc or something. Like you're going to get it wrong.
That's something like with Bill Belichick having played Mahomes in those games. And obviously I'm an offensive player, but you're in the meetings and you hear Bill say, look, we gotta contain this guy. You got to mush rush him a little bit. There it was again. And make sure that we don't let him get outside, because when he gets outside the pocket, he can make every throw, right? And so if you can contain him, be physical with the receivers, disrupt the timing of their passing game. I think that's what we saw the Bills do last night.
I mean, and look no further than Josh Allen with having a run game, and James Cook, who
that's right.
Somehow everyone's like, Josh Allen has to do it all. No, you have an incredible, it's a good thing, by the way, Bills fans. You have this insane, incredible running back, highly paid now, whatever needs to get his love. That said, because we are a sports show and this is Monday morning, is Mahomes still the better quarterback between the two?
Oh man, I mean, look, you have to go. If you're looking at the entire career, you have to give it to Patrick because he's won the Super Bowl, right? I hate it for Josh because there's been so many games that it comes down to those two teams playing, and they just haven't been able to get over that hump. But clearly, they have the formula to do it. They just have to do it when it really matters the most. I mean, honestly, one of the best performances I remember by a quarterback in the recent 5 years was that game that the Bills lost in Kansas City. The way Josh Allen played in that game, he just left too much time for Mahomes, and then it gets to overtime. So look, I've not been shy about my love of Josh Allen and the way he plays the game. I think he's inspired a guy like Drake May to play a very similar way, or even a Justin Herbert type player. So, but right now you got to give it to Patrick because he's won in the biggest moments.
And he leads your top 5 quarterbacks. We always give you homework, Brian, and you always knock it out the park. Who? I haven't seen the list yet. Who else is? Let's put it up here.
Yeah, let me make sure I have it too. So I actually went with Stafford #1 because I think right now we got to give him the props that he deserved.
Yeah.
He's playing incredible. I mean, honestly, like I'm up here in Drake Mayland and I'm all in on this kid. But when I see what Stafford's doing, and he's same draft class as me, so year 17, I think the addition of Devontae Adams is huge. I love Cooper Kupp, but he and Puka were similar. And now you have Devontae, who's a true X in that system. You let Puka move around, and Stafford's just dealing. Drake May, I think, is real. He had a off day yesterday, and I think was over 100 passer rating again, 200 plus yards. He's just got to do a better job protecting the football. Patrick, he wasn't on my list the first time I did this with you, but that was because he didn't have Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy been hurt. He's worked his way back up, and obviously this is just this season. Josh Allen, like I said, they kind of took a 2-week hiatus. They're back. He played incredible last night. And I got to give props to Sam Darnold as well. This is tough, trying to find who deserved this 5th slot. But after what I saw last night from Sam Darnold, I'm just so happy for this guy. You guys have talked about it before, the narrative. Is it KOC? Nah, this guy's for real. He's playing confidently. And honestly, last night was one of the first times I really got to sit down and watch Seattle play. Jackson Smith-Njigba is incredible. I mean, the way he plays the game is just so phenomenal. He's got such a rapport with Darnold, and I really like what they're doing out in Seattle.
What is it with, I mean, they're complete top to bottom. Darnold's numbers are better than they were in KOC system with Justin Jefferson. When you're looking at Darnold and you're saying it's the rapport, put it in a vacuum for me, JSN. He was a stud last year as a rookie. What is it from the quarterback perspective? Like, give me the argument that he should be talked about in that echelon, even though obviously the experience matters and you know, JJ and Jamar have done it longer.
When I watched him last night, the speed with which he plays at and the decisiveness, there was a play where they kind of moved him out of the slot a little bit and literally his head turned and Darnold threw the ball. And I'm like, man, these guys are in sync. The decisiveness with which he's throwing the football to him. And I was just shocked at the overall level of speed that Smith-Njigba runs every single route. I mean, I don't know how you defend him. Every route looks the same speed. He's in and out of breaks. There was actually, I think the touchdown that Darnold threw to Arroyo on the seam, they replayed the route that Njigba ran. And oh my God, he just torched the DB and you know, it ended up being a touchdown on the other side. But I was really impressed with what he's doing. Clearly, he and Sam, you know, made that connection early on. They feel really comfortable. And I think what a great story for Sam Darnold, someone who was an outcast in New York, Carolina. And I saw the pregame interview he did with Jason Garrett. And he said, what about that year in San Francisco? What did that mean to you? He's like, look, it took the pressure off. I got to be around a great offensive mind and Kyle Shanahan, some great players. He mentioned McCaffrey and those guys, how they take care of their body. And then you go to Minnesota and get the opportunity to play with Kevin O'Connell, who former teammate of mine has done a tremendous job. Look at what J.J. McCarthy did in his first game back yesterday. And so I think some people thought like, oh, is it Sam? Is it the players he's around? No, I mean, you take him out to Seattle, he's playing lights out. And I think there is something to be said. Kubiak is the OC, a very similar system to what they were running in Minnesota. And so you see the comfortability, and he's always been, in my opinion, one of the elite arm talents in the league.
Somebody who was always used to winning too, and then faced adversity right away. I think there's the scheme stuff. That's like your world, and then for me, it's like the humanity of it. Of like, I feel like the label put on his head was the back pages of the papers with mono and a ghost and all this like absolute BS that he had to deal with that basically framed him as like a weak-minded quarterback. That's the truth. And then you're seeing everything he has fought through. Daniel Jones, similarly, I think in that vein, to regain confidence. Like, that just doesn't happen. I know winning helps that tremendously, but the self-work that one needs to do, to dig deep and be like, no, I'm the man, watch, I'm going to try, I'm going to, through all this, is really impressive. And I think Sam has nailed that and does not get enough credit for that. You know who's going to be pissed and not impressed with your list, though? Can I see your list again? I mean, Jalen Hurts, not in the top 5.
I know. Look, I hate
Prescott,
these lists.
not in the top. Jared Goff, have you heard of him?
I know, but you know what? He's like similar to Pat, and I don't want to have a snap reaction. These lists are so hard to do.
Of course.
And honestly, these are guys I just have a lot of respect for, and they've played a lot of good football lately. But like, Goff, Brian Flores and that Vikings defense, they got after him yesterday, and it affected him. Similarly to what Mahomes had to deal with in Buffalo. And look, if you had asked me this list last week, Daniel Jones would have been on this list. Obviously, you go out and you have 5 turnovers in a game. Oof. That's just, it's like lingering in my mind, right? But I think, going back to what you said, the personal side of like the Sam Darnold story is so important. And look, for as great as these players are, there is a personal side to it. And how do you handle that adversity? And I think that's why I love the stories of Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones and Baker Mayfield, because it's kind of a win for those guys who have kind of been cast aside, the media, the fans, he's not any good. No, they're good players. You got to be in the right situation with the right people around you. And it goes to show, it's about timing and place. And these guys have taken advantage of those opportunities.